fire, and actually the organizational response that is present over there is of the utmost importance, where how you are going to approach for fighting the fire. Is my voice properly audible to you guys?
Sir, little bit lagging, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now is it audible properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as you are seeing over here in the screen that I have shared, the organizational response takes place depending on the situation of the fire, whether it is extinguished or not. Okay. It is assumed that the fire is not extinguished, and more organized response is necessary to cope with the fire after immediate response has been undertaken. So in most cases, the officer of the watch gives a status report to the captain before the latter takes the command and control of the situation. So this chapter deals with the firefighting organization, during which the captain is in command of the situation and the properly uses the available resources at his disposal. Okay, there are different emergency groups ready to respond using the fighting procedures to fight the fire. Okay. So the emergency teams we have class. तिथे जागा नव्हती जाऊ का? I'll connect in 2 minutes. Huh? I'll connect in 2 minutes. Just be online. Yeah, I'm really just a moment. Yes, I'm really sorry for the connection disconnection. Trying since about last 20 minutes, but not able to get connected. Now I have finally found a place where I can connect. I tried to connect through the faculty room, but there is a lot of disturbance going on. So I had to search a classroom where there is a LAN cable present. Wi-Fi is not working, so was not able to connect. Anyway, now I hope that this connection will continue. Uh, I'll just share again the screen with you. This since today morning, this problem is persistent. Actually, trying to connect from the morning, the LAN connection is working, but the Wi-Fi is not working, and some connection disconnection, connection disconnection. This is happening. So hence the problem is persistent. Let's see how much time we can continue. I hope till the end of the lecture this connection works. So okay. So you guys are studying now firefighting and fire and the associated shipboard firefighting techniques and routines and everything. Now the topic that I'll be covering is the shipboard organizational structure. Okay, shipboard firefighting organization. Okay, now out of this we must understand the organizational response is the ultimate important thing when you are going to fight a fire. We all know that fighting fire is about the awareness of the situation and how in an organized way you approach the fire fighting, and you address the situation, finding and informing, then trying to extinguishing the fire at individual level is important, But if you are not able to fight the fire on individual level after informing everybody and calling for help, then after a proper organizational approach has to be taken and the fire has to be fought. It has to be fought in a proper channel, in a proper way. Okay. The organizational response takes place depending on the situation of the fire, whether it is extinguished or not. It is assumed that the fire is not extinguished and more organized response is necessary to cope up with the fire after immediate response has been undertaken. In most cases, the officer of the watch gives a status report to the captain before the latter takes the command and control of the situation. So here we are going to discuss with the firefighting organization, during which the captain is in command of the situation and he properly uses the available resources at his disposal. There are different emergency groups ready to respond and using different firefighting procedures to fight the fire. Now we'll look at what all different teams are there. Okay, is my voice properly audible? Is the screen properly visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If at any point of time you feel that my voice is not coming or something is breaking, please raise your concern. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the emergency teams. The emergency teams are the teams of crew located at the muster station. They will perform designated tasks in an organizational manner to cope with the fire. The number of emergency groups varies with the type and the size of the ship and also the number of the crew. So in large cruise ships with 100 crew members and more, there are 4 emergency teams to cope up with the ship emergency. Namely, the bridge team, attack team, the continuous run ship and the emergency standby team. Okay. And meanwhile, in the cargo ships, there are also 4 emergency teams, but structured in a different way. Nevertheless, the key elements is that one team has to take the lead. Others, this will always be the bridge team. Another one will fight the fire. Another will help the others to conduct their designated task and prepare evacuation. And the last one, the engine room team, is in charge of the engine room. Okay, so basically there will be these 4 teams always. Okay, the bridge team, the attack team, the continuous emergency or the standby team, and the engine room team. Okay, so there are different names, but basically the works that they are doing is in this fashion only. Now we will understand the different teams in order. Okay, the bridge team, as the name indicates, it is located on the bridge or at an alternative site if it is necessary. It is also called as operational command team in some ships. There are certain examples given in my literature. Okay, so if you are reading through the slides, you can read the names of the investigations that took place, or the material that I have gathered. It is through certain research, certain survey, or certain report through certain disasters that have been that has happened over the past, and there are certain examples are also listed. So please go through whenever I'm discussing. You can read the names and just go through the literature. Okay. As the name suggests, for the bridge team, as it is in the commanding position during the emergency, hence it is also called as a command team. Okay, now it is led by the master, and this team is intended to lead and coordinate all efforts and keep the detailed timed record of events in case of shipboard fire. Based on the information from other teams, it shall coordinate the entire firefighting operation. It should normally consist of at least the master, the officer of the watch, and the helmsman. Okay, it is generally three people are there. So either like mostly the master. Generally, the second officer is the officer of watch or the officer for communication that is intended, and a helmsman, like an able seaman, is always there. So three members are definitely there in the bridge team. Okay. However, in passenger ships with larger crew, this team is reinforced by other personnel to help in the coordination of the emergency. In the author's opinion, due to the importance of assigned task to this team, the officer of the watch and the helmsman should be particularly chosen because of their special qualification. Okay. So other than the master, two more people will be there. Depending on the master and other things, the helmsman, which helmsman will be present and which officer will be present, that will be decided. Okay. So this is typically how your bridge team will be looking like. For cargo ship or a tanker, captain, second mate, and a boatswain. The position in the team, the captain will be the leader and the person who is in command. Second mate is the officer of the watch, external radio communications, etc. Boatswain, like it is also called the bosun. Okay, boatswain or bosun. He may be there or AB may be there, depending upon whatever is your requirement. He'll be the helmsman. Okay, and on passenger ships, the team is a little bit more because there are a lot of people involved, and there are a lot of other things also associated related to the communication. So captain, second mate, other officer is present there, a boatsman, then able seaman. So the team is quite bigger, and everybody is having different roles as it is showed over here. The second one is the attack team. Okay, this attack team or the primary response team is, as the name suggests, it's intended for attack, and more precisely to fight fire under the direction of the bridge team. Okay, these are the names of the ships, Nazaro and the Standring. These are the names of the ships through which some information was gathered, and in these ships it was mentioned that it should be led by chief mate. Okay, so the attack team, generally the leader is the chief mate or the chief officer. This is reasonable because the chief officer is the second in command on board a ship. Therefore, he normally has to act as on scene command in the fire emergency because of its special knowledge of the crew and the ship equipment. However, it is vital that he should have good knowledge of firefighting, and the attack team is normally composed of 10 crew members in typical emergency organizations. However, the number mostly depends on size of the crew and type of the ship. So for passenger ships, such as this is just the name of a passenger ship. This team, also called as the Mobile Fire Group, comprises 3 divisions of 8 crew members each, and the firefighters, the fire limitation and search ambulance divisions. So there are different as per different organizations, such as of a cruise ship or a passenger ship, the nature of the attack team will change, but the primary work of the attack team is to attack the fire in an organized way to extinguish it completely. Okay, then comes the support team. Okay, up till this point, everything is clear to you? Any doubts?
Sir,
Yes.
so in bridge team, if third mate is on the watch, then it should be the after the master. It is compulsory that the second officer should be in the team.
Actually, the thing is, you see, generally the second officer on board is responsible for the radio equipment and communication equipment.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
so generally what happens if in case of fire, see, generally you've got a muster list. Okay, all ships as per their ship specific muster lists are present, and whose duty is what is decided as per the emergency situation. For example, second engineer's responsibility will be as an engine room in charge, for example, and he'll be the leading engine room, you can say engine room team leader. Okay, so it may be like, in some other ship, chief engineer may be termed as the engine room team in charge. So it depends on different organizations and different things. But generally here, as per the emergency situation is coming, as per the alarm is raised, then whoever is the person responsible for whatever the job he is assigned to, he will be present at that location, okay, as per his duty assigned. So if third officer is also there on the watch, okay, then if an emergency situation is coming, he will be going to the location that he is assigned to, okay, or he will be executing the role that he is assigned to. Okay, so if he is assigned as an officer of watch, or he'll be standing with the master on the bridge, then he'll be doing that job. But if he is assigned as, let's say, a member of the attack team, then he will be going and helping the chief mate in the attack team. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the support team. The support team is normally assigned to support the attack team when the latter is performing in tasks in firefighting operation. It is usually intended to provide extra manpower by helping the members of the attack team to get equipped, and by fetching equipment and breathing apparatus. In the vicinity of the fire, the support team has to establish a staging area, which is a smoke-free area that is protected from the fire. Supplies of hose, nozzles, axes, and spare cylinders of breathing apparatus should be brought to this area by the support team. Okay, the support team, the main function is to assist the attack team in whatever the equipments or apparatus that is required. So they will be providing the equipments and apparatus, and how many members are present in the support team. Each and every member is assigned a certain duty, and let's say some people will be bringing SCBAs, some people will be bringing portable fire extinguishers, some people will be bringing let's say spare SCBA bottles. Okay, so it depends, and all the duties are assigned, and those are all duties have to be performed by the support team. So it is distributed amongst the team members, and all the tasks are accomplished. Okay, so this is an example from a ship named Skip in 1985. This identifies that apart from the tasks mentioned above for the support team, providing first aid to injured persons, preparing lifeboats and life rafts for evacuation, recharging self-contained breathing apparatus cylinders, conducting security patrols, providing boundary cooling, and such tasks are also assigned to the support team. Okay. Then comes the engine room team. Okay. So this team is located in the engine room station or engine room team station, now normally led by the chief engineer. Okay, in some organizations, some companies, your second engineer may be the commanding person for the engine room team, but generally a chief engineer is your commanding person for the engine room team. It may also be called the technical department in some ships. Its task is to control the technical, mechanical, and electrical devices that are needed to support the emergency response and to maintain the provided maximum readiness to engines and auxiliaries in the engine room. In practice, such tasks are to control the operation of the emergency pumps and generator and react promptly but safely to the command from the bridge. Okay. So generally operating your emergency fire pump, emergency generator, then providing emergency steering, okay, then providing uh, proper fire line pressure for fighting the fire, for boundary cooling, for other purposes. Okay, then shutting off the ventilations, the blowers, and if emergency maneuvering is required or for other purposes, then all the tasks which are technical in nature and other, let's say, isolation of power in accommodation for certain area, or isolation of power of galley, okay, if galley fire is there, then that all things are done by the engine room team. Generally, the engine room team will be comprising of a chief engineer, electrical officer, one more engineer, and one oiler. Okay, oiler or a motorman or a helper, you can say. So generally, 3 to 4 guys are always present in the engine room team. Okay. And exception for passenger ships. Apart from the above mentioned teams on the passenger ships, the crew must also deal with the passengers in case of fire. So another team will be responsible for ensuring that all passengers are mustered at designated muster stations after a general announcement has been made on the public address system, that is the PA system. So the alarm sounded by the crew discovering the fire is normally only addressed to the crews in charge for further investigation. But if the situation is worsened, a general alarm is sounded to warn the passengers. Otherwise, the public address system is also used for this purpose. The team is responsible for guiding the passengers to the muster stations and also for ensuring that they are wearing their life jackets properly. It is also under its responsibility to divide the passengers into groups and accompany them to the lifeboats if evacuation is necessary. Okay, so this is an additional team which will be dealing with the passengers and their discipline and their guidance. That is exceptional team which is present for the passenger ships. So the conclusion of all those points that we have discussed above is the size of the ship and the number of the crew determine the organization of the emergency teams. However, the above mentioned teams are the basis for any type of ship. It is essential that one of the teams has to manage the others to achieve effectiveness, while the others have to help each other and mainly act as instructed by the leading team. The bridge team, that is the leading team, he'll be coordinating and instructing. If some missing link is there, then he'll be developing the link. Okay. Another team, which is the engine room team, is crucial because of the monitoring of the engines and other types of equipment in the operation during the emergency. However, some personnel are not included in the above teams because of their special duties in the emergencies. We will see what all are the special duties. So these are typical emergency teams where bridge team, the master is in command, second mate generally is on watch, unassigned officer and radio, assistant and radio. Then able seaman is the helpsman. Okay. Attack team, chief officer is the leader, engineer officer is the assistant. Here, if chief engineer is assigned or second engineer is assigned as per the organization, it varies. A deck officer is the assistant present there, and able seaman or ordinary seaman is the present. In support team, second engineer officer, leader, deck officer, assistant, engineer officer, assistant, remaining crew. And engine room team, chief engineer officer, motorman, as per the requirement is present. Okay, up till this point, anybody has any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, so that is the basic organizational structure or organizational response structure in case of fire. Now we'll see a little bit more what are the roles of the people that are involved. Okay, so after the different emergency teams involved in shipboard fire emergency has been identified, the following will deal with the different procedures on how to use efficiently and effectively these teams in order to fight a fire in an organizational response. Okay? In other words, what remains to be done when the officer of watch has handed over the command to the captain regarding the firefighting operation. So captain's role, it is known by all seafarers that the captain's authority is the second only to God's. That is how they state. Okay. So in this sense, he has the ultimate responsibility for the ship in an emergency situation, such as fire on board. His role is very important and intended for the direction and control of the emergency response to cope with the fire. So his role consists of different tasks that are described below. So these tasks are establishing communication, then internal communication. Establishing communication is after the status report from the officer of the watch is given to the captain. The first thing he has to do is to establish the communication. This communication is internal as well as external. Okay? Internal communication has to be established between the captain and the other team leaders, and the success of the fire emergency response depends on the quality of the communication it is intended. Okay, for the captain to let other teams know that he is now in command of the situation, and for the other team leaders, this enables them to report the situation and ask for directives from the captain. Okay, and the most versatile equipment that can be used for communication purposes is the walkie-talkie or portable radios, because these cannot be threatened by fire, whereas fixed telephones may be out of order if the wire is burned by fire. However, all available means have to be considered in a fire emergency to optimize the efficiency. Okay. Then external communication. This is for internal communication, which is inboard, okay, on the ship. And the external communication has to be established based on the reports from the team leaders, and the captain has to decide if it is necessary to communicate with others about the fire. There are different kinds of messages that have to be sent depending on the situation. A distress message to the MRCC. MRCC is the Maritime Rescue Coordination Center, and other ships if outside help is necessary, mentioning the type of help or stations in the vicinity announcing the fire, and ask his message in order to update the alert message, and a cancellation message transmitted when the fire is extinguished. Okay. So these are all the external communications and the internal communications which a master or the captain, when he takes command, has to, you know, do these all things. Okay. Then assessing the situation. Assessing the situation is the basis of all measures taken during the immediate response. The officer of watch has to assess the situation based on the reports he has received. Similarly, the captain also has to undertake the further assessment both from the status report given by the officer of watch and from the other team leaders. The captain should normally work with the drawing of the ship and other drawings in relation to fire safety to help him to assess the situation. Okay, so he should try at least to determine the following factors when assessing the situation: threat of life and injured persons, current situation and actions previously taken, assessment of fire, its type, location, extension and intensity, etc., means of escape, access to the fire, ventilation situation, imminent risks and exposures, if the fire should spread, access to firefighting equipment, area affected and damages, etc., etc. Okay. The order of this list is not strictly followed. However, it could be mentioned that the safety of life is the most important in such an emergency. Hence, this factor should be considered first. So, safety of life is of paramount no matter whichever is the emergency, and that has to be dealt with in the first, with the first priority. Okay. Now, issuance of commands. In order to direct the teams, the captain has to issue commands or orders. His orders are very crucial, and any mistake on his part may be fatal. Okay. So the command depends mostly on the assessment of the situation. However, the captain's decision should be proactive. That is, based on the information available. He should predict the evolution of the fire situation and issue commands accordingly without waiting for it to happen. The purpose of the command is first to supervise the initiative of the team leaders. For example, the safety of life is a priority in an emergency, and if a crew is missing, a search has to be ordered to look for the missing crew. Secondly, the command's role is to provide alternative action when the action plan cannot be followed due to any constraints. For example, if a team leader reports encountered problems by his team, and the captain should find another alternative action to undertake the fighting of fire for the worst case, to order for escape or evacuation. Okay. Control and feedback. Control and feedback. Whenever the seriousness of the fire situation is, whatever the seriousness of the fire situation is, the captain should remain in control. Apart from the above mentioned tasks, the captain should reassess the situation and issue other commands accordingly. Those two tasks are linked and dependent on each other. They have to be carried out together and repeatedly by the captain until the emergency is over, which means fire is extinguished. In other words, feedback should be given to the issued commands according to the ongoing fire situation and is probable evaluation. Okay. For example, the captain should keep an eye on the situation where he has ordered to monitor the ventilation in order to ventilate a compartment where the attack team is fighting the fire, because the ventilation can be a factor to worsen the fire situation. So if I would further elaborate this, for example, a galley is under fire and an attack team is leading to fight the fire in galley with their plan, but the support team has to shut the ventilation. Now, it is the responsibility of the person who is doing the job to report it to the team leader, and the team leader has to report it to the commander, that is the master, okay, or the captain, that the specific work has been done. Now, if a team leader is not reported that ventilation for galley is shut, it is the responsibility of the captain to ask him back or ask the team that have you done this job or not, okay, to verify it. Because if the ventilation is not stopped, then the fire will spread. It will not smoother, it will spread. And the closure of the ventilation flaps or stopping of the fan or stopping of the ventilation altogether is an important task whenever you are fighting fire, and the duty is assigned to a person who is responsible enough to carry out that job. Okay, so it is the responsibility of the master to cross verify if the job is properly done or not. Okay, understood up till
Yes,
this
sir.
point?
Yes, sir.
So, in conclusion, the role of the captain is not limited to manage and control the normal operation of the ship. He also has to cope up with unusual situations such as fire on board, and the success or failure of the fire emergency depends on the ultimate decision of the captain. Good flow of communication between the captain and the other team leaders is a key factor for the captain to assess thoroughly the situation and take appropriate action. Based on the assessment, coupled with the product proactivity, the command is issued to supervise and lead the available resources. However, the role of the captain is not straightforward. He has to revise the actions he has taken previously, depending on the situation of the situation, and depending on the evaluation of the situation, and issue updated commands. The figure below provides a summary of the role of the captain in the shipboard fire emergency. Okay, so this is the captain's role in the shipboard fire emergency. He is the officer of watch. Okay, generally whoever is the officer is handing over the command to the captain. So giving status report, team leaders, the officer of watch gives status report to the captain. Okay, so after captain takes over, the team leaders are reporting it to the captain. The captain establishes communication, he assesses the situation, he control and feedback, and gives the issuance of command. Okay, that is the role of the captain. Okay, all clear up till this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we will discuss the team leader's role. Okay, so the role of the team leader is very important during fire emergency. Apart from being officers, they should also have the ability to take out the tasks assigned to the team members. The captain may have a very efficient strategy to tackle the fire, but if the team leaders do not know how to lead their team members in carrying out their duties properly, the emergency will result in a chaos. It is right to mention that the success of the emergency response depends on the team members' performance. But if they are not properly led and guided, this efficiency does not always bring success in shipboard fire situation. The team leader is the person in charge, therefore he is responsible for controlling and supervising the tasks carried out by his team members. And the role of the team leaders comprises various tasks that are given in details as follows. So taking proper initiative is one task. Okay, then communication is another task. Then maintenance of resources is another task. Now, maintenance of resources include providing support and maintenance of resources at their disposal for maximum readiness. For the attack team, the team leader's role is to ensure that each team member knows his designated task and provides brief instructions to fill a possible gap. Okay. He also has to ensure that firefighters are relieved and rested after expending a long effort. Okay. Before and during the operation, the team leader is responsible for ensuring that the firefighters are properly equipped. A close cooperation with the support team is necessary to ensure efficiency in providing field breathing apparatus and other support such as boundary cooling to help the attack team. The firefighters should provide enough information to the team leader in order for the latter to properly maintain the resource available according to a ship named Skip, that is in 1985. This is a research study done. Okay. And the equipment resources, they comprise of SCBA, trolley sets, distress signal units, guide ropes, personal guide ropes, lifelines, etc. etc. Okay. So as per SOLAS chapter 2.2 regulation 17, the fireman's outfit consists of protective clothing of material to protect the skin from heat radiating from the fire and from burns and scalding by steam. Okay. The outer surface shall be water resistant. Then boots and gloves of rubber or other electrically non-conductive material. Rigid helmet providing effective protection against impact. Electric safety lamp, okay, or hand lantern, you can say a hand torch of approved type with a minimum burning period of 3 hours, and acts with the satisfaction of the administration. Okay, these are all the parts of a fireman's outfit. Okay. Then his one more role comes as directing the team. Okay. So the team leaders play an important role in the achievement of the fire emergency. Being the on-scene command, the team leader can see the situation directly, assess its severity, and report to the master on the bridge. He then suggests alternative actions if the action plan cannot be implemented, but he has to seek for approval from the captain. Okay? So a lot of responsibility is in his hands as to maintain the resources at his disposal and to use them in an efficient way. An emergency response can never succeed if the team leaders do not respond efficiently to the emergency. Okay, the firefighting procedure is undertaken when an immediate response has been carried out. So it is of extreme importance to use the available resources in proper way, and the success of the shipboard fire emergency response lies with close cooperation of the involved elements, and the ability of individuals to fight the fire leads to a success if they are properly led and given appropriate support. Okay. So the summary of it is that one of the factors that may lead to a disaster in a shipboard fire emergency situation is the failure of the organizational response. So the organizational part of the response takes place after individual actions during the immediate response have been carried out. The entire crew is involved in such emergency response in order to provide an organized response to fire. So it may not be needed if the immediate response has managed to put out the fire, but this only happens when the fire is small and limited, therefore its extinction is easy. Okay, so we have a table of summary of organizational response that may be applied on more, and this table does not support to give a final organizational response of any ship, but it can be extended to a certain proportion depending on the size of the ship. Okay, so this is how the teams and their functions generally are. Bridge team functions: establishing communication, assessment of situation, issuance of command, control and feedback. Then attack team, support team, engine room team. The functions: taking proper initiatives, assessment of the situation, establishing communication. Okay, then execution of commands from bridge team, control and feedback. Okay, so it is observed in this figure that all teams involved in emergency should conduct an assessment of the situation. Basically, the issuance of commands belongs to the bridge team, which while the other teams mostly carry out commands and report, but they can also suggest alternative actions or take initiatives if necessary. So all carried out actions need feedback to cope with new situation. Okay, so that's about the shipboard firefighting organization. Okay, anybody has any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, I hope it was not so difficult and we have, okay, though in the beginning we had some problems related to the connection, okay, but after the connection problem was resolved, we were able to conclude the topic in time. Okay, so we'll just go with the attendance. How you are going about it now? Who is taking the attendance? Who is taking the
You
attendance?
can take.
Okay, tell me just a moment. How many are there? Total 24, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, TNOC, from which roll number to which roll number you are there?
So 65.
From which roll number to 65? From 65 you are starting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, just a moment. (14 and 10), 24 total should be there. Okay, so GME 50, 10 and TNOC 14. So 65, roll number 65, TNOC.
Yes, sir.
TNOC 65, present, absent, what? Say present.
Present, sir.
66,
Not in the course.
not in the course. 67,
Present, sir.
68,
Present.
69,
Present, sir.
70, 70 not there, huh? 71,
Present.
73,
Present, sir.
74,
Present, sir.
76,
Present, sir.
77,
Present, sir.
then 78,
Present, sir.
80.
Present, sir.
Okay, so I think TNOC is finished, you know.
Yes, sir.
69, I already pronounced 69, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Only 11 are there, TNOC. 14 should be there, no?
Yes, sir.
Who is absent?
So 75, 79.
75, 79. And what about 66, 69? 69 is there, 66?
It is not in the course, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, GME 17, sorry, 14, 14 GME. Roll number 14, GME 50. I can see roll number 14 over there. 17,
Present.
21,
Present, sir.
22,
22 present, sir.
23,
23 present, sir.
25,
Present, sir.
31,
Present, sir.
33.
Present, sir.
Only 8 are there, GME. 2 guys are not there.
Sir, and 14 is facing network issue, sir.
Okay.
And roll number 9 is absent. GME 9. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Roll number 9 went for vaccination, sir, for the second dose.
Roll number 9. Roll number 9. So that is only 9 people. 10 guys should be there, no? One more guy is absent.